Hello, my name is Lori Zerrusen, and I'm a senior BSW student at Seton Hall University. And this is my poster titled Galvanizing Democracy, Combating Social Isolation and Increasing Accessibility for People with Disabilities. My abstract is as follows. Robust voting is central to ensuring a thriving democracy and highly compatible with social work's values of inclusion. The social work profession has a long history of advocating for democracy by broadening and strengthening the right to vote. People with disabilities experience many barriers that lead to social isolation, such as communication difficulties, mobility and access challenges, poverty, and stigma. These barriers in turn lead to political isolation. People with disabilities cannot easily participate in the political process, including activities such as marches, community activism, running for office, and voting. The result is that individuals with disabilities are 6% less likely to vote than people without disabilities. They are also underrepresented. Only 10% of elected officials have a disability, while 61 million Americans, 26% of the adult population, have a disability. There are several current laws to protect people with disabilities, including Voting Rights Act of 1965, Voting Accessibility for the Elderly and Handicap Act of 1984, National Voter Registration Act of 1993, the Americans with Disability Act, and Help America Vote Act of 2002. But these laws are failing. In the 2020 elections, people with disabilities voted in record numbers due primarily to COVID-19 and the expanded use of mail-in balloting. But the percentage of people with disabilities voting still fell short of the percentage of people without disabilities voting by 6%. And 11% of people with disabilities reported obstacles to voting. In addition, since the 2020 elections, numerous states, including Georgia, Iowa, Florida, and Texas, have enacted legislation to roll back mail-in balloting and to restrict electoral participation of eligible voters, which impact people with disabilities. For example, stricter voter ID requirements, eliminating or reducing early voting, prohibiting on-site assistance for people at the polls, and paper-only ballots pose significant barriers for people with disabilities. Interventions are needed to achieve the Americans with Disabilities Act's 4 pillars, which are full participation, equal opportunity, independent living, and economic self-sufficiency. Recommended actions to address social isolation include increasing outreach through teletherapy and telephone reassurance, establishing a dedicated helpline for mental health, and strengthening community self-help and support groups. In addition, intervention is necessary to counter political isolation. Recommendations include making voter registration accessible to all, ensuring accessible polling places, establishing procedures that do not discriminate against people with disabilities, offering accessible voting systems with voice capability, and creating a mentoring program to proactively encourage people with disabilities to seek political office. Success is possible as the community of people with disabilities is large, especially when family members and friends are included, and represents a powerful lobby. Also, disability cuts across political divides, and voters with disabilities are not strongly associated with any one political party. Bipartisan collaboration is required to address the functional injustice and secure this group's full inclusion in the democratic process. Thank you.